initially drew me into creating a YouTube channel was the distinct lack of channels that had kids that were in the upper elementary age and up. There's since been quite a few more, but at the time I couldn't really find many. So in honor of that, this week I'm hosting a middle school week, both here on my channel and over on my blog. On Tuesday, I had a collaboration playlist open, so when you're done watching this, be sure to check out that and check out other people's videos featuring middle school years. In addition to those videos, I have a couple other ones that are not on that playlist, so you'll need to go to my channel to check those out. As you can see, here's the list of titles that I am doing this week, so definitely check my channel so you can find that out, as well as the playlist for other people's videos. So today I am sharing some of our middle school curriculum hits with you. And I have a variety here. We're just going to go right down them. I do have a couple more in-depth videos on a few of these, so those will be linked down below as well. So the first one is the Key To series. There are a variety of topics. And there's this one's key to algebra, there's also key to fractions, key to decimals, key to geometry, etc. And then within each of those, there are 10 books. Now, I would not, for most children, say that this is enough for a full curriculum unless you're good at explaining it or unless your child doesn't need much explanation. But they are excellent as review or to dig in more for a child who might be struggling with a part. We are using it this year as review. So like this one's multiplying and dividing rational expressions. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of explanation, but there's a good amount of practice. It's a really good series. I know people use it as a full curriculum. I think it would be very dependent on you as a teacher and as the child as to whether or not this would be a good fit for them. But they're also inexpensive, I like that, and they're just a really good one if you need to spend a little more time on a subject. Next one is a spelling program. Now, by middle school and definitely by high school, most people have kind of dropped spelling. But if you have a child who needs more practice, is not a natural speller, or has a language disability, dyslexia or whatever, continuing to do spelling in high school may be something that you need. And a lot of the spelling programs are be kind of babyish, or they're at a level beyond what your child might need if they're a struggling speller. So, the series Mega Words, put out by Educators Publishing Services, which are the same people who do Explore the Code, have this. Now, they have 8 books in the series, and they are geared for 4th grade and up. The books are very straightforward. There's no cutesy graphics, so if there's nothing to make it look like, there's nothing babyish looking about it. They are good, strong words, so you're also not getting like super, it's not dumbed down, but it spends a lot of time breaking words apart and playing with words so that your child's not just memorizing words. They're learning why they're spelled that way and how they're learning to really work with the words. I have a video about this, so I will link it. It is excellent. I highly suggest this one. Things are falling. Next up is a science program, and it's called CPO Science. It is a textbook, a middle school textbook. So there are a lot of the activities in here are ones that wouldn't quite work for us because we don't have all the materials that you might have if you were in a science classroom in a public school. But it is a great program. There is a physical science and there's an earth science. There may actually be a chemistry too. I'm not sure I've ever looked. I don't know. Anyway, I know that there's the physical science and earth science because we have both of those. This is a great program. I am amazed at how well it's written. A lot of times I don't like regular textbooks because it feels clumsily written, but this one is so good. We used it last year, so Elizabeth was 7th grade, in conjunction with Mr. Q's science, as well as a few other supplements, and it made it a really good program. Now, her brothers, if you aren't aware, were 3rd and 1st grade last year, so the Mr. Q's was more for them, and the CPO was more for her, but we were able to blend it pretty well that, I raised them up a little bit to get so they could understand more of this, and then obviously this was more right at her level. She enjoyed it. There is a fair amount of math within it, so that was good that she was able to start incorporating, see how math gets incorporated with it versus elementary sciences that don't usually have math within them. So this is really good. If you can find it used, which is what I did, I found it on the Well-Trained Mind classified boards, or the classified section on the boards. It's well worth it. I really love it for a middle school science program. And next up is Analytical Grammar. This program, you can use it in a couple different ways. It's broken down into 3 seasons. So if you want to do like a 6th, 7th, 8th grade and do 1 season each year, that works. We are doing it over a 2-year span. So because I just found it in 8th grade. So we're doing 2 seasons during 8th grade, and then we'll do 1 in 9th grade. It also comes with Beyond the Book Report, so that you're, to do different types of book reports, and then you can choose whatever book you want to go with it. So we've used part of that, to go along with our literature program. Analytical Grammar's kind of overarching idea is that you don't need to have grammar every day, every year, in order to master it. And I will say that my daughter has mastered it far more from this program than all the other years of grammar that we've done in various texts. We've tried various ones, and this one she's done so much better on. Now, is that an age thing? Is that a program thing? I'm not sure. I did not grasp grammar well until middle school myself. So when she was having problems with it in elementary, I wasn't concerned because I knew that middle school was the age it was for me. So I just assumed the same would be for her. Either way, the program is really good, and I love that we don't have to do it. It's not a year-long program. I hate spending time on grammar because it feels like busy work for me. Every day, every year, it's just too much in my opinion. So 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you can do it 7th and 8th grade, 8th and 9th, however you kind of want to break it down. If you are interested in more information about analytical grammar, I will have a spotlight coming hopefully in April, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Next up is history, and program that we really love is the History of Us books. Now, this isn't actually a program as much as it is a supplement, though you can find programs out there that use this spine as their spine. What I love about this program, Joy Hakem does an amazing job of finding stories that give an illustration of whatever the main topic is that she's talking about, but in a bit of a spin or in a more interesting way than a lot of textbooks with just like a list of facts type of writing. It's very engaging writing, interesting stories. These books are definitely written at a middle school level, but I think it's easy enough to supplement a little bit to raise it up. And even though they are written at a middle school level, I think they're so engaging that she would do a better job of remembering and really learning from this versus a quote-unquote high school level text. So definitely check this out. Even if you don't want to use them as a spine, I think they're just so well worth it. I think I mentioned we bought it originally for elementary school to use with Story of the World, Modern History, and it was perfect for that. Next up is a geography program, and it is the Visit To series from Simply Charlotte Mason. And each edition is pretty much the same. but there's a different focus. So North America, South America, Middle East, Africa, Europe. It is so good. All of them use two main books, The Hungry Planet and Material World by Peter Menzel. We were able to find both of these on Amazon for used. So the Material World has families from around the world, and they bring out all of their belongings and photographs them. So then they talk about what they have, and then they go into more in depth and talk about the family, where they live, what their jobs are, that sort of thing. So each chapter is just focusing on one family. It's a really good series, and it was kind of a fun way to do some geography that didn't just focus on memorize this capital, memorize that capital, memorize, find this river, that sort of thing. So my next two go together, and that is Starting to Outsource classes and my homeschoolmathclass.com. This was the first real class Elizabeth had taken online. She did another one that was a bit of a failure, but this year, or last year actually, she took Algebra 1 through my homeschoolmathclass.com from Mrs. Perkins, and she was fantastic. The class was wonderful, and it was a really nice introductory class to start outsourcing some. Now, we will not outsource everything, but as she gets older, but we will do some. And this one was a really good first one for her. The teacher was really good. At the beginning of the class, they did a great job of setting up the expectations. So the teacher did a great job of explaining what she expected and how the class would run. My daughter loved it. The teacher's explanations were very good. I would regularly go back and watch bits and pieces so that I could refresh my memory to Algebra 1. And I was very impressed with him. Communication was great. So those are kind of my two hits. One, it's a good age to start outsourcing if that's something that you desire to do. And number two, my homeschool math class is a great place. They have classes starting at pre-algebra, I believe. So I forget what they call it, like basic, I don't remember. Anyway, the link will be below. So they had that, and then a typical pre-algebra class, and then Algebra 1, geometry, I think there's a trigonometry, I know there's an Algebra 2, and then I think pre-calculus is what it goes up to. Those are some of our curriculum hits for middle school. The titles will all be listed below. Links, I will do my best to find links for you. And so those will be listed where I can. The playlist for the collaboration will also be down there, so please make sure you go check out the other ladies who are participating and find out what other people have to share about the middle school years as well. And then when you're all done with that playlist, come back to my channel and check out my other middle school videos. And be sure to hit subscribe before you leave. Thanks for watching.